Hello, this is James Saskis with your second tutorial on Google Fusion Tables. In this tutorial, we're going to talk about mapping. So as you see, Fusion Tables, when you import your data, already starts to make a map for you because it should say map of states, but it started before we changed our column. So we can come back and change that after. And as you see, it automatically starts geocoding by location, in this particular case by state. I pick a small one of 51 because if you use a data set of 1,000 or more, it takes a long time to geocode, 20 minutes to 45 minutes, sometimes even longer. And as a teacher, we don't have that type of class time. So I pick a small one so kids can get a basic visual on how to manipulate the map. So as you can see, this one takes a pretty short time to do, so it makes it easier for kids to see. We're almost done here, and here we go. It maps it out for us, and we're going to hit done and zoom into our state there. There we go, right there. Alright, so now we click on our icon and the cards come up. Those are what those cards were for before. So I'm going to close that. I don't need all that data. We're just going to make this map for heart attacks. So to do that, well, we can rename it. Let's call it heart attacks. Oops. Heart attacks. Click OK. There we go. Now we want to change the card. So we're going to change map, and we're going to change the info window. And we just want for heart attacks. So we do that and click Save. Now when I put my cursor over the icon, it just gives us the heart attack information. So now I don't really like these icons. It doesn't really show us much, like which states have the most heart attacks versus which states have the least. So we're going to go to Change Features, and we're going to go to Buckets. Alright, now I'm going to put it into 4 different buckets just to create a little bit better visualization. Now we don't want it for total, but we want it for heart attacks. And this is our data range, so we're going to use this range because if you look at it right here, this goes up to 100%, but we start at 89.9, and there we go. Now I don't also like these icons. They're a little bit small, so we're going to change them. So the lower number green, maybe make the second lower number a little bit different color, yellow, and then lots of heart attacks, red. Okay, and we click Save. And there we go. Now students have a nice visualization of what to look for when it's heart attacks, and they can see the states that have a little bit more of heart attack incidents than other states, which provides a nice visualization. And if they're doing a comparison with the cancer, they could create another map and do the same thing. So we can do add map. Okay, and this time it's already done for us. Zoom it in. Here we go. We can rename it. Rename. This is cancer. Okay, okay, and now we're going to go change because we want to change our data. Change features, go buckets, divide, we're going to change it to 4. This time we're going to do cancer, use this data range, do the same thing as before. See, it's not really that difficult. Yellow and red. And there we go. And we get another nice little comparison. Okay, we finished changing the styles of a simple map so we can create better visualizations as we examine our data. But now there's another feature called heat map, and this particular one is not a good example. So I created a different one that my students did just to show you how to use the heat map. The first thing you got to do is when you have a lot of different locations and a big data set is you have to go through each one and check the location. I just want to use a zip code on this one, so I'm just going to change all the ones that deal with area, and I got to check them. See, this one's set to location, and if it's geocoding, it can get confused, so we just make sure we change all these just to get our one location when geocoding. Area types, check street address. Okay, that's text, so we can cancel that out. Slide on down to city. Change that to text. And state. They're all in New York, so we don't really need that location. So, text. Alright, and I'm going to get rid of location 1 here, because I did this earlier, and it didn't work as well as the zip code, so I'm going to change that to text. And I'm going to change my zip code, see it's a number, I'm going to change that one to the location. So now they're all set. And for the sake of time, I've already brought the map in and created it. So here we go. So now we have, here's the featured look. And it gives us a whole bunch of little dots, okay, which really doesn't help us. But the heat map for something like this can really show and bring out our data and have us ask more questions and help us analyze it. So we're going to click on heat map, and nothing's there, so we can change the opacity. Now watch as the opacity, I bring it up, what happens to New York City, Buffalo, Rochester. Bring out the radius if we want a little bit, and it shows us that really among the major cities in New York that this is where obesity problems happen. So this will allow students to examine the data with further detail and maybe even go research why this is the case. Maybe because in cities there are more fast food joints than out in the rural areas. So it allow students to ask some interesting questions about their data and come up with some conclusions. So this is the end of our tutorial on mapping, and I hope it gave you some of the basics with your students so they can manipulate their data for their data project.